Hello, everyone. I'm Professor Stefan Huang. Nice to see you all and welcome you to our master program. And I'm the lecturer of this course, Introduction to the International Business Transaction and Law. Yeah, it's a long name, but I would like to shorten it into Introduction into International Trade Practice and Law. Yeah, so everybody heard about trade and law and practice. Yes, we would focus on a specific international trade document. We call it CISG. Yeah, Convention on International Sale of Goods. Yeah, is a international convention or international treaties that regulate the basic terms, basic rules for the transaction of cross-border goods. Okay, and from the beginning, I would like to introduce myself to you. Yeah. Different from most of the professors, I spent a long time staying in the industrial sectors, like in the court system and in some companies, and also practice the law as attorneys. Yeah, also in accounting firms. Like here, I spent almost 2 years in accounting firms, and also 1 year in a chemical company, and also 2 years in a court. Yeah, so I have a different perspective. Not only academically, I can talk from industrial side or practical experience share with you. Okay, let's start to the course objective of this semester. I have 3 objectives. The first one, I would like everyone to have to understand basic legal terms and the rules of international commercial transaction, and it would be not so difficult as you think. The international commercial transaction will be as simple as possible. Yeah, because the CISG is just want to eliminate, to erase the red tape, to erase the difficulties for the transactions between different countries. So it would be said as simple as possible, especially as to just some principles, and that principles is easy to be understood. And the second, I just called about just also mentioned the CISG. Okay, I would like to read and analyze the rules and the commentaries of CISG. I call it digest. Yeah, the official name is digest of CISG, and everybody is expected to spend time to read the CISG's digestive. Yeah, and also some cases that the digest has referred to. And then at last, I expect you to identify some key legal issues in a real case. And that legal issues could further develop into a risk. I want everybody to identify in one case, in one real case or fictional case, you can identify some key legal issues and the risk. And that would help you very much when you are dealing with a commercial transaction. Yeah, cross-border commercial transaction. Yeah. And then the requirement of this course. First one, participation. I will, according to my past experience, the students shall be divided into different groups, and I expect each group consists of 3 students, maybe 3 to 4 groups. Last year, it was 4 groups, and each group was 2 students. One group is 3. One group was 3. Yeah. Okay, and I expect 3 students could be much better for the discussion and collaborations and attendance. And I would expect after 2 or 3 weeks, maybe at the 4th week, every group will be assigned to a reading, and after your reading, you should phone up. You should just produce one PPT and just make your presentations, maybe very short presentations, to lead our discussion. And for the grading, I will give you a midterm quiz and a final term quiz, which consists of 1 or 2 cases, and I will ask you several questions in that very concrete questions, and I expect you to answer these questions, of course, in English. But this quiz will be conducted on will be conducted on a closed book basis. I'm sorry, I'm wrong here. I must make the correct. Not a closed book basis, it's an open book basis. Yeah, I will correct here. Okay, if I forget, just let me know when we are doing midterm or final terms. It's an open book basis. Yeah, you will be just conduct that midterm and final term with computers, not by papers. Yeah, just on computers, and just send me PDF files. Yeah, and I will grading your points. And for the course, it will start on each Monday and Monday evening from 6 o'clock in the evening and end before 8. End before 8 p.m. And according to my past experience, each student is expected to dedicate at least 3 hours. Yeah, the most of your hours will be dedicated to reading, and also make the PPTs. And the PPT ordinary will be 6 to 10 pages. Please, no more 15 pages. That will take too much of your time and our times. Okay, the gradings is 70% on the midterm and the final term quiz, and the 30% depends on your participations. Yeah, not that bad. It's just participations, just your presentation and the discussion of that case. I will give you some questions when we are hearing your presentations. And right now, to a reference. Yeah, the main materials we are having during this semester. The first one, is the CISG. Is the full name of CISG is United Nations Convention on Contract for the International Sales of Goods. So the CISG, this name can just give you some hints. First one is about contract, and it is about international sale of goods. And who did this? Who produced this? the United Nations, and it's a convention. Convention means the United Nations has held a convention that has participated and ratified by various countries. As far as I know, it's about over 100 countries has joined, participated, and ratified, recognized this CISG. So it could be regarded as universal, applicable. But everyone, maybe you have noticed here, it was established, it was produced in 1980s, which means already older. Yeah, it's a little quite old. It's just 40 years ago. So some articles maybe look like a little redundant today. Like, did anyone know telefax? Oh, yeah, it's we don't use it today. Almost no, because we just doing emailing and just write instant messages, and that is could be some problems about the interpretations. I will discuss later today. And as the CISG is just a set of articles which set up the basic rules. But for the interpretation of the articles and the application of the articles to a real case, yeah, that could be another question, another dimensions, another series of questions and issues. So there is a digest of case law. Yeah, it's really helpful that everyone look into one case and see how the articles being interpreted or applied in a real case. And every case has its own elements, has its own particularities. That is makes things very interesting. Yeah, Israel sometimes. Yeah, the most famous case I had in the past is a German muscle case. Yeah, it means that in that case, mussels, yeah, it's just a seafood that are imported from New Zealand into Germany, but that seafood, that mussels has contained some chemical materials that is not lawful in Germany. So does this cause a problem? Yes, it's a problem in Germany. But is that a problem from the seller? No, because according to a New Zealand law, that chemical is allowed to be contained in seafood. So that is a real question. It doesn't regulate in the article. You need to interpret and consider the circumstance and consider every aspect and effect of your interpretations. That is the power and the meaning of a case law. Yeah, of course, case law means a lot of time, a lot of hour for your reading, but it worth it. And CISG and the digest of case law are included in this United Nations Commission on International Trade Law, and they have a friendly website and database. That means we don't need to pay anything. It's just a public domain for the case law. And then, yeah, here is how we can make a search on the text law. Yeah, and they have a database of cloud. Cloud means case law on UCITRA text, and let me demo something to you. Firstly, we look into the here. Okay, here is the articles. Let us see. Yeah, the CSI or CSG, CISG law. Yeah, it's just produced in chapter articles this order. And the part one is some general provisions, and the second one will start firstly on the here article 11 to 13 is our first start, and then we run into the formation of the contract, and then sale of goods and obligation from both sides, seller and the buyer. Okay, here is the order. Yeah, and let us see in one article, a very simple article. Here, just one sentence, Article 13. Yeah, here today I will make demonstration of this article to you. Article 13 just stated, for the purposes of this convention, the writing includes telegram and telex. Here refers to two terms, telegram and telex. Yeah, so we have to know what means telegram and what is telex, and what can it be if it's just an outdated machines. Can we just apply this idea, these rules into something we use today? Okay, and here the central idea is writing. Writing is a verb. Yeah, write, just you write something on papers, or you write something on some surfaces. Yeah, but writing here in commercial terms means, yeah, it is it's just a term that in contrast of verbal oral agreement. So it's a writing means we have firstly an oral agreement, then we put into a writing, put our agreement, oral agreement, verbal agreement into something that can last more times, like putting on paper and just write into some just maybe print it out. Yeah, so it doesn't necessarily refers to something on paper. It could be something recorded, and could be understood by the third party. So it's the meaning of the writing. But in the past, yeah, due to the constraint of the technology standards in the 1980s, at that time, writing means just handwriting or just some type, your typewriter. Yeah, so it's already interesting right now. And then let's look into the digest. So we look, here the digest. Digest just is the page 76. The digest just they just summarize different case laws and into some general description. And for the Article 13, it's easy to swallow because it's just one page. Yeah, and they have some general description and some note. Within the note, there is a reference of the case laws, and it's and where you can find it. But it's a little sad to say that in the last year, we just spent a lot of time on this website. Yeah, CISG law PACE.edu. However, this link is no longer available. So it's a little pity because they have a wonderful plenty of case laws, but right now we just could be narrowed to selective. Okay, and then let's back to this case law. How we search the case law? Yeah, here the link. Yeah, we run into here case law. Yeah, so we need to search maybe. Yeah, if we just look here, we see the second note of this Article 13. Yeah, here cloud case number 1083. Yeah, and it's in this case was handled by Ukraine Chamber of Commerce and Trade. Yeah, so is the the cloud has summarized and has collected and summarized cases or which has been adjudicated or arbitrated by different countries, jurisdictions, court and arbitration commissions. So it's not from an international court, but by handled by a local court in a different countries, mostly the European countries. Okay, so we have a number 1083. Let's go to 1083 here. 1083. Okay, we have this article. And then here, Ukraine. Just clicking. And here's the abstract. And you will have this one, abstract. And that tells you what had happened. Okay, here, on the page 9. Yeah. Voila. Okay. So they just give some abstract of this case and what had happened, what principle have been given by the court on this case. And let's go back to so I just demonstrated how we search this case law. And here is the expected syllabus, but this is just expected preliminary, not already set, because we have to see the situation, circumstances. And I do wish to see you everyone in person, not indirectly through Google Meet. And I believe the efficiency of physical presence and physical with physical contact could be much more, it would be much better. Okay. And I expect to have several hot topics, and these several topics could be very interesting, on case basis. And you need to group them, divide yourself into different in 3 or 4 groups, and then last of this first video, I would like to say some personal experience, the benefit from learning English contract skill. As I have mentioned, I was a lawyer or an attorney 20 years ago. At that time, I handled the tax litigations and also serve as a commercial lawyers to companies on commercial matters, on business matters, and I have I have some very good experience in dealing with cross-border M&A, merger and acquisition. So after I returned back to the school and get my master's degree, and then I went to military or community services in the court. Yeah, at that time I'm not earning very much due to the overall situation. Yeah, due to while I was in a military, or quasi-military time. So I need to make some money to support myself and my family. So I just developed into, I just having freelancer job in the night, just remotely. I do contract translation from the Chinese into English, from English to Chinese. Yeah, for the contract. At that time, a lot of companies, tech companies, need these translation services, and the translation of legal contract is far different from translation for the other materials like literature books, like love and romance. Is far different, but far different doesn't necessarily means it's difficult. Yeah, in contracts is simple. Yeah, because the legal terms in contracts is identical from one contract to the other contract, which means you just need to learn once. For example, writings. Writings just means something on paper. Yeah, or something some agreement has been put into a record. So it's just one idea that identical in each contract. And if you have these abilities, I expect everyone after this semesters, you can have you can develop at least this skill to identify certain legal terms in contract with the correct meanings. Okay, and for your potential job prospect, if you own this English contract reading skills, at least reading, I don't expect you have drafting skills. You would be it is very useful for international business. Yeah, because a lot of good English speaking personnel does not have they can speak well, understand well, but in the legal areas, in the legal realms, they cannot get fully the points, fully the idea of one contract or one terms. That is not so good. Yeah, and then if you have this after this course, you can just promote yourself. You are fully capable of dealing and reading, understanding this English contract, and you will get trust me, you will have a better chance to be hired by the international companies. And I will also give you one case as to identify to show how the international contract or international transaction goes. Yeah, and the first video just end here. The second video, we will talk about this case. We call it Domain Vahau case. Okay, thank you everyone.